Hello everyone, I'm here. Sorry I'm late. Sorry, I am late. Hello everyone. Oh god, we've a lot of people in already. What are all these messages? Kenny, hello everyone. Andrew, hello. Kenny, Darren Anderson, evening guys, enjoying the great weather at the minute. Yeah, it is cold actually. Kenny, hello. Hi Andrew, Jude, hello lads. It's England when doesn't the weather suck? 50 weeks of the year. Yeah, it does actually. True, bloody freezing here. John's late. I'm here. John, you slept in. I'm not, I'm here now. So, how is everyone? Hello, how are we all doing? Sorry I'm late, lads. It's been manic. Uh, it's been a very, very busy day here in the Era Military Collectibles household. So, how are we all keeping? Are you all still here, or am I just talking to myself? What's going on? He's looking at the Leeds United. I'm not looking at Leeds United. I wouldn't cross the road to watch them if they were over there. So how are we all doing, guys? I hope you're all here. Hello, give me a thumbs up. Give me a hello if anyone if you're here. Yes, I am drinking a Coca-Cola YouTube. There are other soft drinks available. There's nothing special about this one. It just happens to be in my fridge. So, oh, guys. So, what have we been doing? I know I promised I would put up videos during the week, um, but unfortunately, life got in the way of it, and I never got around to it. I will be doing it this weekend. I promise I will be doing it this weekend, probably tomorrow. So the plan is tomorrow there will be three videos uploaded, including this live stream, and there will be one on Sunday. So that will be a live stream and three regular videos over this weekend. So I hope you enjoy. Um, what have we been doing with the collection and stuff? The collection and stuff, I have been working on impressions. I've been trying to put basically a checklist together for what I need for my SAS Falkland /op banner kit. And what I need for that at the minute are the ammo pouches, the drop ammo pouches. The other thing that I've been working on at the minute is I'm working on a new World War II impression called the Lovett Scouts. If any of you don't know who the Lovett Scouts are, they're a very, very prestigious and elite regiment of the British Army. I was going to say Scottish Army. Well, they are Scottish. They're the Lovett Scouts. Um, so I've been working on that, putting together a checklist for that. And I've also been working on a video for it's like an Easter special video for the 1916 Rising. I'm working. Danny Reese and Jake Brown from the Jake Brown collection have been helping me with that. So hopefully that'll be coming along. So it's been very, very busy. Few questions there. Guinness or Kenny Rebel. Guinness is a soft drink. It can be, yeah. It can also be a very, very hard drink if you drink too much. But Kenny Rebel. Noah, David, Stan, or Jim. Stan is just in. There we go. Stan has landed. I'm here, Kenny. Uh, so there you go. So yeah, so that's what I've been up to. Um, the what else have I been doing in relation to kitchen? I've just been doing an awful lot of research. Old Spec, good evening all. Hello, Old Spec. How are you? I've just been doing an awful lot of research to try and sort out videos. Um, and sort out projects and get impressions together. I'm also trying to get myself ready for the Living History UK festival that is on in April. Um, so it's been busy, and I lost the remote control for my DVD player, so that's buggered, and that really annoyed me today because I couldn't find the remote for it. So yeah, so I know it's here somewhere, but where it is, I have no idea. So while I'm talking to you and while I'm looking for questions, I'm going to be moving my Pew Pew collection out of here where it normally is to just see if it dropped down there behind it because I never actually checked into these Pew Pews are. So it might be here, fingers crossed. Um, if not, we'll probably have to see if we can get a universal remote somewhere. No, I can't see it. It is not there. Bugger and bugger, bugger. Bugger, bugger, bugger. Ugh. So it looks like I'll have to try and buy a universal remote for my DVD player, which sucks even more. Justine's, when in April is the Living History UK Festival? It is on April 22nd and 23rd in England. It's in a place called, oh God, if Andy, if you're there, please help me out. Something Mills. Moira Furnace is where it's on, in Leicestershire. Leicestershire. Is that it on the top shelf, John? No, that is for the friggin' telly. That's the TV one. And it's normally there, sitting right there. Turn that off or we get in trouble. I was watching The Punisher earlier, if any of you want to know. But yeah, it was sitting there, which is a bit of a bugger. But actually, Gary, you popped into my head because the reason that I was looking for it is because there's actually a USB key on this. So we were talking about movies that you can get and put them onto a USB key for me. So that's why I wanted to see would that work. So, not bad. Kenny Rebel watched Danger Close the other night with the battle. Great film, well researched. Yeah, it is fantastic. It's a fantastic movie, Danger Close. The documentary is called The Battle of Long Tan. It is actually on YouTube. It was available on YouTube. I don't know if it's still there, but you should be able to find it and put it up. Just got a US Army. Sorry, this is from my MRT. Just got a US Army telephone writer. TT-44, quite a heavy beast, but very interesting piece of military communication history. Yeah, I am picking up a Klansman in England when I go over to England, a Klansman backpack. So hopefully we will be doing a radio on that. Is that on top of the ship? No, Gary, it's not, unfortunately. To all those that haven't seen my latest YouTube video, I'm starting my own Air Force. I've got the first fighter plane, Fokker Wolf 109. I actually seen that, Stan. I meant to leave a comment on it. I think I left a comment on it. It looks absolutely class. It looks savage. I was looking actually what you could do with it, and I have seen one. I don't know how you do it, but you are a technical type of guy, because I know you were saying about space. But there's a guy actually, he has two lights in his man cave, and he's got one basically on one, and he's got one on the other light, like that, chasing each other. I think it's a Spitfire and a Messerschmitt, but it's like they're in a dogfight. And the lights he has, it's like a LED strip going along the ceiling from one to the other. So when he turns on this LED strip, you just get these flashing lights going at the Messerschmitt, which looks pretty cool. Yeah, bit of a geek moment there, but yeah, it looked cool. Did anyone else see Ian from Foreign Weapons wearing Paddy Flash in his latest video? I did, Jude. I did see that. I did see that in his latest video. I would love an old dog tag typewriter. You do actually see them, believe it or not. You do actually see them coming along. There was a guy in Yorkshire. Was it in Yorkshire Wartime Experience? There was a guy in the Yorkshire Wartime Experience that had an old-fashioned dog tag typewriter, and it was something. I think it was a fiver a tag or something like that, and he was making them out for whatever spec he wanted. Keep April 16 free. Classic rifle match in my club. You can go as a guest. Wear your Falklands up banner gear. You can use my L1A1. That would be class. Actually, I'll get in contact with you about that one. Yeah. Yeah, I'm working on it. It's awesome. Yeah, it looks cool. It does look cool. Kenny Rebel. Anyone recommend anyone who can repair old radios in the UK? Stan is your man to get onto there, because I do believe he had one of his field phones reconditioned. So maybe you might be able to do it. It shouldn't be that difficult, because there's an awful lot of ham radio operators and stuff in the UK compared to Ireland. In Ireland, you need a license, VHF and UHF license. So there's not many ham radio guys around as there used to be, but definitely in the UK it should be easy enough to find one. Darren, I saw a post a few months ago on Facebook of a dealer with a van full of paddy flash ready to go on his site. Paddy flash is not illegal to sell outside Ireland. It is only illegal to sell inside Ireland. Um, and it does happen. You do see it for sale on eBay and stuff like that, but it will not be. A lot of the sellers know the laws and they won't import it or export. They won't import it to Ireland. Um, it does get sold, but it doesn't get sold over the in Ireland. This is from Stan. Anyone seen the YouTube channel Crocodile Tear by a fella called Jane Lepo? Apparently awesome World War II research guy does. I'm not sure if it's the same guy, but I was watching a video yesterday, the day before, about a guy doing research on a French Adrian helmet that had bullet holes in it, and he actually tracked it down to the guy who owned it, and unfortunately who was killed. I'm not sure if it's the same guy. I do remember you telling me about that guy. So there you go. I do actually have it. Burning. Hello, John. Looking for a PDF smock for a lady. If you come across, best regards, Aidan from Ennis. Adrian from Ennis. I have come across. I haven't come across one, but I am looking out for you. I know who you are, and no problem. Thanks for coming up to me. But guys, don't forget, if any of you see me in Ennis or in public or anywhere around the place or County Clare or anywhere, you are more than welcome to come up and say hello to me. Don't be worried about anything like that. But I do know I am in talks of getting one for you. So yeah, so keep it with me. You do have my email. Drop me an email and we'll sort it out as well. Military memorabilia. Hello, how are you, military memorabilia? Still have a stand. Hey, Kenny, Ronnie Retro, or it could be Retro Ronnie. He fixed my FF33 German headset. He's based in North Wales, so there you go. That's home, John. That's home, John. What's home? I'm not sure. Him. Okay, Stan needs some 80s US pack radios sorted for shows. Darren, it's okay to copy Paddy Flash kit and sell it. I've often seen ProTech kit. ProTech, believe it or not, I believe a few years ago were fined for selling Irish kit to non-soldiers. So you will not get DPM ProTech kit off them unless you're a serving soldier. If any of you don't know who ProTech is I think he's a veteran-owned company in Ireland. He does an awful lot of work with the army, especially the Rangers and things like that, police forces, stuff like that. But he does do stuff in Paddy Flash. But I believe now you have to produce your army ID before he will sell it to you in Paddy Flash. Don't quote me on that, but I think he does. Still have a stand. Adrian Helmet video, right? Adrian Helmet video is the right fella. Crocodile Tears. Yeah, very, very interesting. Very, very interesting video. It's mad how he does the research. It's very, very interesting how he does the research into things, such as letters and postcards. And I watched one or two of his videos. I am putting up a video. As I said, I am putting up an Easter special video. And that has been doing I have done some amount of research for that video. So hopefully it'll be done. Hopefully it'll be finished before Easter. Fingers crossed it will be done by the end of this week. I had to take a step away from it because there's a bit of a PowerPoint in it and stuff like that. And it wasn't working out for me. And rather than make a complete of the video and editing and stuff like that, I walked away from it for a while so I can come back at it with a fresh brain, which, as most of you know, is the better option to do rather than punch your laptop. So yeah. Is it about the Easter Rising? Kenny, how did you know? If it's an Easter special, yeah, it is about the Easter Rising. I do have an awful lot of American followers, believe it or not, and they're constantly on to me about old IRA history and old IRA stuff like that. So yeah, so we're getting it done. So we're trying to get it done. Not the Jesus one. No, it's not about the Jesus one. Although we could do a documentary about Jesus and Easter and stuff like that. But yeah, no, it's not about that. So yeah, my throat is very dry, and that's still bugging me actually where that remote control is gone. But fuck it anyway. We'll have to figure it out. Find a new one. Buy a new one maybe. Ugh. I never actually tried to see could I work it without. Well, I can work it, but I don't know how I'd work the stick, the USB stick without the remote. Yes. Oh well, let's figure it out somehow. It's not like I really need a remote control anyway, is it? It's not like I'm miles away from it. There we go. So yeah, yeah. Projects for the upcoming week. What have I to do? Finish those fucking Easter 1916 video, and I also need to stick my Suzette to my SE80. I need to figure out. Here, YouTube. These are film props. They're not actually real, so don't get your panties in a twist. I need to figure out how to fit that to there. And if any of you notice anything, the rail on that is not the same as the rail on this. So, a Dremel and a lot of super glue might have to work. And I have to take off the front post as well. So yeah, so that could be a project. Do any of you want to see me put up like these little project videos? Because 90% of it will be me bitching about why I can't get that to fit onto that and stuff like that. I have it. I have it edited and I have it ready to go. Is I actually have the part 2 of the Brody helmet that I reconditioned and haven't put it up because I wasn't happy with the color that came out. And then I resprayed it and then went, oh, I never videoed that. So yeah, so I need to figure it out. But do any of you want to see those little projects? Right, so where have we gone? Stan is the best remote. Stan has the best remote. You should have a USB port on the back of the TV. I never actually checked. I do have a USB port there on the DVD player. So I presume I have a USB. I must check to see if I have a USB port on the back of the telly. That would be a good idea. Yeah, the one that doesn't bloody work. Oh, your clicker for your camera. Yeah, that's very funny actually, Stan, when I see that. Kenny Rebel, I know someone who 3D prints adapters for those rails, John. Yeah, I could do that. I could do that. What does an SA80 magazine look like, John? It's basically the same as an M4 magazine. Nothing special about it. There you go. Basically an M4 magazine. I've never actually tried to fit an SA80 magazine to an M4, but they're the exact same locking systems and everything. So I presume they'd work. I don't see why they wouldn't work. English Khaki is his name. Oh yeah, I think I know him. I'm not sure, can you? Joe Steins, can you pick up a few lengths of Picatinny rail and screw them onto the top of the rifle? I see I could, but the problem is it's a plastic rifle and that's only plastic as well. It's literally a toy. It's literally, but it looks real and it looks authentic and it's going to be on a mannequin or it's going to be on me at a show or stuff, so I don't really care about how the real quality of it. But I could do it. I suppose I could do it, but yeah. Darn, yep. I'm not sure what that's for about Darn. Use a mallet. Could use a mallet. Could use a mallet. See, the thing is then as well is Danny Reese, if he's not watching, he asked me would I do. Well, he didn't ask me. I sort of volunteered myself. He's a big Afghan and Iraq collector and stuff like that, and he asked me would I do. Well, not ask me. He does them. So I said, look, I'll get into doing the Afghan stuff with you. And he's like, yeah, cool. You're more than welcome. Because I had this lying around the place. Now, this is an old airsoft one that the guts have been taken out of because they were broke and nobody could put it back together. And I went, it's a bit like a regular SA-80 then. So I said, yeah, I'll take it off. So I need to Afghan this. Right, so I need to take off this part and put an actual, rather than a Suzat sight on it, I need to put an ACOG sight on it. So first of all, I need to get an ACOG, cheap airsoft one or something like that, and stick it to the top of it. And I will probably just fix that in place because it's not doing anything. It's just running up and down the rail. So yeah, so that's one job. I need to get a foregrip for it, which is the little one that goes there. I need to take off this part of it, which shouldn't be too difficult. Yeah, so that's another project. Why? Is your ALO lockout back here? Like this, the SA-80. I have fired the real version of this, the SA-80, and it buggers belief why the designers did certain things to do about it, why they built it a certain way. That's the magazine release catch, right? So if that's on the inside of you and you bump off it, your magazine falls out. Airsoft magazine, by the way, guys. See, it's just a regular SA-80. That's an SA-80, or that's M4 magazine. So, oh, my magazine has come out. Like, why would you put the magazine release catch on the inside? So if you're carrying the rifle that way and you're running, and you accidentally hit that magazine release catch, which it won't do now for me, your magazine falls out. Why? Why do that? Then, why put your select fire all the way back here when you have a perfectly blank space here to do it that you could do with your thumb? Okay, your safety catch is there. That makes sense, but well, it makes sense. You can turn it off, but then you have to do this to put it back on. Yeah, the ergonomics of this thing leave a lot to be desired. So, Stan, I'm just going to prove this for you. So, magazine that fits into an SA-80. XM177. Same magazine. Alright. There we go. Yeah. God bless them. I don't know what they were thinking when they designed this yoke, but they sent it. They pretty much sent it to Heckler and Koch, or Koch or Koch or whatever you want to call it, to get it redesigned and get it fixed and get it actually bloody working. So, I don't know. 1 second. I have a lot of questions. Kenny, my ARs don't take the first style SA-80 mags. Oh, not that. Oh, I didn't know that. Yep, more project videos. Oh, okay. I need to put up project videos. I will do that. Darren, any got the sling too? I do have the sling for it. It's actually in a box up there. I do have a sling for it. Any bayonets? I do. I have a M16 bayonet, and I have a Mark IV spike bayonet. I have an SLR bayonet, or sorry, not an SLR, an SMLE bayonet, World War one, the big one. What else? They're about the only bayonets I have. I am on the lookout for an SLR one. I was actually talking about that today with Andrew Johnson. Yeah, so I do have a few bayonets, but not that many. I had a screw. I had to screw a few bits to Picatinny into the hard guard of one of my M4s to fit a laser for some stupid movie it was doing a few years ago. That would I would actually cry. I would actually cry doing that. Manual arms is funny for the S80. Well, it's a funny gun. It's not very ergonomic. Is the catch not fenced? No, it's not. It's not fenced. It's not fenced. It's not fenced on either of them. Maybe on the Mark III it is, but not on the SA80 or the Mark One and the Mark Two. It's not fenced. You can hit it with your body and it'll come out. The reason I asked about the SA80 mag was the guy I got the FM109 fighter from had loads of DPM webbing ammo pouches with magazines in, and I took out one and it looked like that. I wasn't sure. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Pretty much the same. The AR-15 mag release system might be protected by patent, or maybe they can't copy it on the L85. But I mean, you don't. It's not like on the AUG, Steyr AUG. The magazine release catch is underneath it. And I've never. No, there is probably some idiot that has did it, but you could do like with the manual of arms. It's you press it with your thumb to take out the magazine, and when you get used to it, it's actually easy to do it. But I've never seen any idiot accidentally knock the magazine out of his gun by dropping it on his leg or something like that. Like, okay, what have I got around here handy? Right. Okay, Thompson machine gun, right? That's the magazine release catch. It's here to take that off, right? It's not going to bump off me. It's a lever system. I actually have to physically push it up to take the magazine off. YouTube, these are all props, by the way, so don't lose your crap. Right. The XM177. No, it is railed. There is a rail around it. But that's the magazine release catch for it. So, like, it's not that hard to get that off, neither. Why is it very stiff? Okay. What else have we handy? Oh, G3. Look, magazine release catch in there. That's how you get it off, and you rock it on again. Comes off that way, right? It just makes no sense where they put it, and it's right here on your chest that's going to be bouncing off you. So there you go. The AUG and the FAMAS mag release are very, very similar. They are. I've used the FAMAS as well. I think they're taking the FAMAS out of service, though. I think the French have gone to the H&K 416, if I believe correctly. I know the French Foreign Legion have anyway. They're not using the FAMAS anymore, but the regular army is or not, I don't know. But I think the FAMAS is being taken out of service. Did anyone hear the opportunity regimentals military sold M38 German para helmet for 17k? Wow, I didn't see that. I must look up their website or their YouTube channel. Have they a video up of it on YouTube? I must look it up. The original SA80 mags have RG on the base plate. Release button. RG on the base plate release button. The mags have RG on the base plate release button. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, Kenny. Jude Steins, yes, they've switched. I know they've switched to the 416. The SA, or sorry, the FAMAS. When I remember the FAMAS, firing the FAMAS, it was at a joint shoot pretty much overseas. We fired some of their stuff, they fired some of our stuff. The hardest part of the FAMAS was you had to put your two fingers in, because on the FAMAS there's a big carrying handle on it, and it's actually the sight as well. But you had to fit your fingers into it and sort of push and pull at the same time to try and cock it. And you might, it was just weird. No, if you're probably doing it the whole time, you get used to it. But it didn't feel right compared to just catching it with the palm of your heel and just like most weapons. But yeah, it was a weird one. Don't remember where I heard that snippet of info. Stan, I must look it up. Surely they have a video put up about it that they sold a para helmet. Regimentals has had, because I've been keeping an eye on their website and I've been keeping an eye on their their YouTube channel, because they do have very, very good stuff. They do have very, very good stuff, and they've had an awful lot of interesting stuff. So yeah, so I need to have a look at that. The SA-80 was reverse engineered from the AR-18, so the prototypes and initial models used the magazine catch from an AR-18. Interesting. Interesting. I do know, like the AUG, the initial rifle that went into testing with the British Army had an internal sight, or like the Suizats and stuff like that came later. It actually came with a sight. Now, it wasn't very good magnification type of sight, but it did actually come with a sight. But yeah, for whatever reason, they decided to get rid of the sight. Because I think it was Andrew Johnson or somebody that was telling me, when he was in the military in England. So we'll say if you were infantry, you obviously got a SUSAT sight, or a CSAT sight, or whatever they're called. Why is that doing that? I think I can't figure out what's going on there. But be another project. But the likes of REME, engineers, transport, stuff like that, they weren't given the sight. They were kept for the infantry lads, and the rest of them had this, because this doubles as a sight. So there's two apertures. There's a night aperture and a day aperture. If any of you don't know the difference, it's basically a hole. You can see it there. So that's your night one, because it opens. It's a little bigger hole, and I can't do this now. That's your day one. So it's a smaller aperture. You see that? So that's the difference, really. Night and day. Night, bigger one. Day one, smaller one. So that's what they would have used to got to love their engineering, don't you? Yeah. I reckon 90% of the regimental stuff is out of my league. Good place to go to get money behind you. They do actually have some stuff that is affordable. Some of their Cold War stuff is affordable. But yeah, they're definitely. I've saved a lot of money, and I'll go for a once-off item. I know me and you, Stan, were talking about it there not so long ago about, I'd love to have original German helmet or original German crusher cap or something like that. They'd be the type of guys that I'd go to for that once off, just to have a piece de resistance in a collection. They do provide a lifetime guarantee with the stuff, so if you ever come across something that isn't original, or there's hinky about it or whatever, they will take it back. So they stand by their merchandise, which is a very, very good thing. Now the thing is with those, yes, they have been cut out in the past, but they're around a long time. I think they're second or third generation nearly at this stage in the military market. So your word is your bond when it comes to stuff like that. You start selling knockoffs or you start selling stuff that isn't hinky, you're going to lose your business very quick. So when you're dealing with high end items like they do as well, so if I wouldn't recommend, I won't say that. No, it's not that I wouldn't recommend them, because I can't not recommend them, because I've only ever heard good things about them. Obviously, I'm not sponsored by them YouTube, so please don't give me a hit on my channel. But they'd be the type of guys that I would go to if I wanted a one-off type thing. Hopefully, we will ditch it at some point, as a few in Europe have changed to the ARs. Poland is Czechs, are Portuguese, are etc. There's nothing actually. I believe that the new version, the one that Heckler and Koch has figured out, is a very, very good weapon. The main bullpup that is still in service, that has gone through a few alterations now, is the Steyr AUG. I know the Irish are using it. The Austrians obviously use it. The Australians use it. I believe there's some country in South America that uses it as well. New Zealanders use it. Some parts of their army use it. And here's one for you: the Falklands. Falklands, I don't know what you want to call them, Home Guard or the Falklands Regiment. They use Steyrs. Believe it or not, they actually use Steyrs. So there you go. Little piece of information for you. Home Guard, I don't know what you call it. What are they called? So Defence Regiments, Falklands Defence Regiment, I think is their actual correct name. Falklands Defence. There we go. So yeah, they actually use Steyrs. So there you go. I think the Romanian police use the 9mm AUG. Yeah, I've never fired a 9mm AUG. I've seen them, but I've never fired one. I fired the heavy barrel, I fired the short barrel, and I fired the regular barrel of the AUG. Never ever had a problem with it. The main problem you would have, never with live ammunition. I've never had a problem with live ammunition with the AUG. The problem you would have is with, blanks. And most firearms, you have a problem with blanks, with immediate actions or stoppages and stuff like that, because either the rounds are there's not enough powder propellant to cause the explosion to recycle the firearm, or you'll get what's called a stovepipe. So basically, you'll fire one normal, and it'll give you the full motion to eject the round. You'll fire the next one. It's made by whoever wish, and there isn't enough propellant in that one, or there's not enough gas in it. So when you fire it, it only half cycles the ignition, so you get a stovepipe. So with the SLR, or sorry, with the AUG, is you literally can look down and you'll see this round just sticking out like that. And it's called a stovepipe. Basically, it's half ejected because there wasn't enough ammunition or enough force to cycle the bolt. So basically, take off your magazine, cock it, shake the rifle, get it to fall out, or hit it with your hand or something. Put your magazine back in, let your action go forward, and away you go. So there you go. It's a bit of an IA drill for you, if any of you don't remember it. What is the sight like on the AUG? How does it compare to, say, the Suzat, John? sight on an og is you have your regular crosshairs, but rather than the lines meeting, you have a little circle, and it takes practice, but it's okay. You get used to it. So basically, how big your person is, or what you judge the distance is. So say if you're at 100 yards, you put that circle straight in their chest. If you're at 200 yards, no, I'm not saying this because I can't remember off the top of my head. But so if you're 200 yards, you put the circle around his belly, 300 around his hips, stuff like that. You can make headshots, believe it or not, with that slider. You literally, if you have that in the center of the circle, and if your rifle is zeroed correctly, um, with a SUSAT is you literally have a post like that. Now on the earlier ones it came down, on the newer ones it goes up, and it's literally just a post with a little point on the top of it. And same thing, put that point where you want the rounds to go. Um, that was the old Steyr. The new Steyr, when they put the ACOG sights on it, everyone knows what an ACOG is, I presume. It's a Army Combat Universal Sight or something like the ACOG. I can't remember off the top of my head. But it's a separate sight. It's mounted to that rifle. Once it's on the rifle, it's zero to that rifle, and it's a full crosshair. So, yeah. Jude, more to do with the BFA, if not cycling blanks. Yeah. You'd have to change the gas setting. What some of us used to do and wasn't quite right was there was a tiny little hole on the top of the BFAs. We used to put tape over it, and just let one round pop out whatever gas it needed to pop out, and you were basically making that little aperture smaller. The newer BFAs now, I believe you can adjust, whereas the old ones we couldn't. It was literally a disc with a rod at the bottom of it that you would screw into the top of the barrel, and you'd use a bayonet or something to tighten it on it because it was a bugger for unspinning and coming loose. So yeah, that was the old one. It was literally just like a disc about the size of a pound coin with a little pipe off the bottom of it that used to funnel the gas through it, and you just screw it into the barrel. They were the old BFAs. What does BFA stand for? Blank firing attachment is what the BFA stands for. Is it's a BFA. You see them, the Irish ones were a big yellow one about the size of a cigarette box, about that size. British have like a little one that clips over the front of the rifle, and for some reason there's a pin on the bottom. I can never figure out what that pin was for, but there's a pin on it. The American one is something similar. Any weapon, any firearm can have a BFA fitted to it, believe it or not, bar the mortars, obviously. But any cyclic weapon can have a BFA fitted to it. I have only ever seen one, and it was in a movie. I've only ever seen one blank firing 50 cal. Whenever we used to fire the 50, it was with live rounds. I've never seen it being fired on an exercise or anything like that. But I presume it can be fitted with a blank firing attachment because this one was firing blanks. It was for a movie. What else have I seen that can fire blanks? Believe it or not, I've seen a Carl Gustaf fire a blank. They have what they call it's a simulator. So it's basically for you to get used to the drills and stuff like that, and just have that bang, and it fires a 9mm blank, which is interesting enough. SHRAW's anti-armor weapons, SHRAW section anti-armor weapon, if I remember, was what SHRAW stood for. They used to fire. They had a 9mm blank adapter in them. You could fire live 9mm out of it with a tracer round to practice, but you could also fire a blank out of it for exercises and stuff like that. Then they put like a little explosive cap at the back of it, a backblast simulator it was called, and you just get the boom as well. So yeah, M-carbon is an anagram for M-can is an anagram for Canma. Not a lot of people know that. Didn't know that myself. Still understand. I only told you to blow. Yeah, I only told you to blow the fucking doors off. Getting some Jim Timber jokes out in chat. Stan, yes. If he's not here, then someone has to fill his boots. And Kenny, you're the man. I fired a blank from a gun on HMS Belfast. I fired a gun from a blank. Sorry, I fired a blank from a gun on HMS Belfast 5 inch. Yeah, like obviously when you see the 25 pounders coming out for funerals and weddings, like the Queen of England when she was being buried, Queen Elizabeth. Um, they brought a full artillery battery, I believe, into Hyde Park or somewhere, and every minute or every 2 minutes they were firing off a shell. Obviously, they're not firing a live shell in the middle of London, so it's a blank. It's a blank ground. Um, it's a piece of brass with a blank with a simulated explosive in it. That just goes pop. Um, when they fire the cannon in Edinburgh, I believe they do that at night to signify the closing of the castle or something like that. Um, Obviously, they don't shout a live round into the middle of Edinburgh. Although some parts of Edinburgh, I presume, people wouldn't mind if there was a live round fired or a live shell fired into it. But yeah, they don't fire. They don't fire live rounds into Edinburgh. Obviously, neither. Um, it's just a blank. So yeah, 25 pounders. I've seen them fire blanks. Uh, have I seen 105s fire blanks? I have. I've actually seen a 105 fire blank as well. Um, the main two artillery pieces. Well, there's three in the Irish Defence Forces. You will come across as a 60 mm mortar, an 81 mm mortar. They're normally in the infantry role. In the artillery role, then you will find the 120 mortar, the 81 mortar, and the 105 artillery piece. So, yeah. Oh no, hang on. Do they have 81s? They're definitely 120s and 105s. And they had some other type of mortar. I think it could have been an 81 mm mortar. I'm not sure. Um, do tanks fire blanks? How does the breech recoil or recock? Same. They do. They do. The Bofors. I've seen the Bofors on the um, Moags fire blanks, and it's the same. It's the same as a blank round for a rifle. They just basically, if you think of a blank round for a rifle is that size, blank round for a tank is that size. So literally, is they fill it with enough charge, the gas that can shoot out the barrel, and they'll put a sleeve on the top of the barrel, a blank firing attachment that can shrink the gas. So basically, it's like a pipe. So you have an explosion went into the pipe. The gas needs to go out the top of the pipe. So what they do is they put a small aperture on that housing or that BFA that it only lets some of the gas escape, so that the rest of the gas then can cause the weapon to cycle. If that makes sense, does that make sense then? Um, I don't know how many DDRTs you're into. That it mightn't, but I can explain it to you. I'll explain it to you when you don't have DDRT in you. But I hope that makes sense. Um, if it was a cut down 5 inch shell case with shotgun blank installed, yeah, exactly. Um, what you will see, like you see them, especially with 25 pounders, is they'll have a small little bit of a charge because they don't need to cycle. They just need to make a bang, pretty much. Um, they'll fill the bottom of it. Um, they'll fill the bottom of it with enough primer or enough explosives to make that bang. So it could be a 9 mm blank, it could be a shotgun blank, or whatever that they have at the bottom of the cartridge. And if you ever see them fire, sometimes you see this white confetti shoot out the end of the barrel. What they'll actually do is they'll stuff it with newspaper or cotton wool or something to keep that charge on the inside of the shell. Um, so yeah, so there you go. You can see them on tanks in some old RIF4 exercises uh, videos from Bar. Yeah, BAR. Yeah, as I said, any weapon that cycles, any weapon that uh, basically has a bang or has a propellant or has a projectile can be fitted to fire blanks. There is a way to do it. Obviously not mortars and obviously not 105s. They don't fire blanks, but you can rig them um, that they will fire, but nothing goes out the barrel. Especially a mortar. A mortar, how a mortar works is you drop the bomb down the tube, it hits a pin at the bottom, ignites and gets shot out the end of the barrel. So yeah, so you have there is a way of doing it, but it can be done. Um, so there we go, guys. We've been on for 50 minutes already. So if any of you want to use the usual for the last 10 minutes, start shooting questions at me or asking me questions, you're more than welcome. And so there you go. We'll finish at the hour. I'm actually quite hungry. I haven't eaten yet today. So I didn't actually think that I'd be talking about weapons handling and stuff like that. Please, YouTube, don't go mad over this because we're not. I'm not sure what I should and shouldn't say on YouTube, but I don't think that everything I've said is physics and can be googled, so I don't think I've given away anything that can be upsetting. We'll find out in the morning. And I've ran out of hydraulic fluid. You're all gone very quiet. You all still asleep, or have I bored you all to death? Yeah. So as I said, just as a recap, while you're all thinking of questions, there will be this live will be up in the morning, and there will be 3 videos coming up over the weekend. So you'll have a total of 4 videos. So I hope you will enjoy, and I will see you later. We'll see how we get on. I'll stay in touch with you regarding the match on the 16th. Yeah, perfect. No problem at all, Jude. You're more than welcome to drop me an email. I saw some Irish Pettiflage Gore-Tex gloves recently, and they were £40. Is that too dear? No, not. It's not. When you consider that the military buy those gloves for probably about 60 or 70 pounds or euro. Plus they're paddy flesh, which makes them harder again to get. So it's not too bad. Kenny Ooch 25 is steep for those. I wouldn't say so. I would not. I'd have no problem in giving a pair of 40 quid for a pair of DPM gloves, Irish DPM ones, because you don't see them that often. Just like that barrack jacket, this one here behind me. You don't see them come up very often. The last one I seen that sold for €200 on eBay. The smocks regularly sell for 150, €160. So then again, it's what people will pay. It's what people will pay, but I wouldn't. I don't think €40 for a pair of £40, which would work out, be cheaper, be in the 30s, probably about 35, €36. I don't think that's dear at all. €50 now would be my max on a pair of those gloves. So if you convert that, probably 45, £46. If it was anything more than that, I'd say it was too expensive. I've made it to my 60th steel combat helmet. 70 next. Stan, make it 100. Round it up to 100. Never set yourself short. Always go onwards and upwards, my friend. Can you go cold weather Arctic headwear in paddy flesh? Kind of like the current British MTP ones. You can. They were Kosovo, Bosnia, Balkans area issue. I don't know if they're on general issue now, but back then they were a specific theatre of operations issue. Just like the boonie hats were actually at one point in time. The boonie hats were a theatre issue. You'd only get them if you were going to Africa or East Timor. Um, but yeah, it's like do you ever remember the Falklands hats? I did a video on the British Falklands hats. It's got this big furry bit on the front. Well, the Irish one is the same as that, except it doesn't have this furry bit on the inside of it. It's Gore-Tex type material, and it's actually got a wire. That piece that's here actually has a wire on it that you can pull it down as a peak, and you can pull the sides down over your ears, and it's got like a micro fleece on the inside of it. So it does actually have those winter caps. So there you go. Atkins do headgear. They probably do. They probably do headgear. Um, I know Atkins do an awful lot of Irish paddy flash stuff, which I believe as well they can't import into Ireland. I think they're not allowed to sell in Ireland. So, but then again, if you're a servant soldier, you might be able to get it. But I don't think on the commercial market Atkins can sell in Ireland. Where can you find them? As I said, they're probably a rare item. I don't think I've ever seen one of them for sale on eBay even. So I could not answer that question. Just keep an eye online somewhere. That's about all the information I can give you. The Gore-Tex hats, yeah, they are Gore-Tex if I remember. The outside of them are Gore-Tex. Is a fleece, micro fleece liner on the inside of them. Right, so guys, are we nearly there? Are we all finished up with the questions and stuff? So it is. Jesus, this. What time are we? We've gone past the 9:30 mark, lads. So we are going to call it a night, and I will see you all at 8 o'clock next Friday. Same time, same channel, same back channel, all that type of stuff. So we'll see you then, guys. So have a safe weekend. Enjoy yourselves. Stay away from COVID and all that type of stuff. Although it's not really there anymore. Nobody talks about it. And enjoy yourselves. And I will see you all at the same time, same channel next Friday. Have a good one.